And I'm here having to narrate this because my microphone somehow didn't record my voice, so I'm trying again. And let's try to do this. I wanted to show you how to do an Arduino page with the brushes, but not using external elements, purely with the brushes. And it's fun, it's relaxing. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I'm using my Mix Media 1, 2, and the Magic Water that I just released. And we're gonna start here with a 10 by 8. First I put a 8 by 10, but I decided to do a 10 by 8. And that's how we're gonna get it started. So I'm changing to inches and putting 10 by 8. And something that I will start, both of my brushes have some kind of textures. The Mix Media 1 has gesso texture, and the Mix Media 2 has some textures as well. So that's where I'm gonna start. And this way is gonna create the texture for the base of the layout. So that's what I'm showing there. And I put the brush big, and I just put as a texture. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look perfect because we're gonna use blending modes, and this is just really to create a texture. You're not gonna see so much of the paper. As you can see, I created like a cream color instead of gray, so I'm putting there as a cream color. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a new layer, and this layer is going to be underneath the texture. And the texture I'm putting a multiply right now. Later, maybe I'll change that. And we're going to start. And I'm going to start putting a swatch that comes with the Mixed Media set, which is the abstract. I have 5 swatches that come in the Mixed Media 1. As you can see there, I put the abstract as default, so I'm going to be using that swatch there. And first I'm going to start with some soft background layers with the Magic Water. The beauty of digital art journal, as with art journaling paper, is the layers. So building the layers is what brings the magic together. So it's an exercise of not letting you be attached and just have fun. So we're just mixing colors and putting the layers. In this set, there is a blender brush. And as you can see there, I'm gonna put the blend and then I'm gonna tap the blend and keep the pen there. So now the same brush is on the blender, as you can see. And I'm just gonna blend a little bit the edges of the paint that I did. But I like pretty much how soft the paint looks. I will change the blending mode of the texture because I thought it was a little strong, so I just wanted to play with it and change there and change the opacity a little bit. So that's what I did there. So now we're going to start with a bunch of layers. And something that I like on digital art journals is to implement your own doodles and scribbles. And the beauty here is that you can, be free and don't be afraid because it's all digital. So I'm grabbing the gel pen that I have here in the Mix Media number 1, and I'm doing like scribbles and marks, and all this is going to help with the layering. And the beauty of this, you can go ahead and delete what you don't like I'm doing here, just to demonstrate how you don't have to be afraid to be free. Let's add another layer, and I'm gonna use some kind of stamping, or no, I think I'm using first the gesso. So on the Mix Media 2, I have some gesso textures, and I put in 100% white, and I'm doing some gesso texture. I duplicated the layer, and I'm gonna blend a little bit of the edges there. stamps to have that texture. I think now I'm gonna do the stamping, change the color, and doing some dots and some random dots, kind of like you're using pens or stamps in your pages. And most of these things on my Procreate, they come out from my art journal. So they come from my real stamps, my real collages. I think now I'm going to start thinking about the collage, which, you know, in art journal, I always love to do painting and papers. So I have some stamps that are collage elements, so I'm going to put that there. But you're going to see that I'm going to change the color here because I was not happy with the color that I chose. So I'm going to put a dark blue. And the way I'm going to do that, I first put them in, how they call, we have to isolate them, and it's on the mask there. And then once I have that, then I can fill with the color. Oh, alpha lock, there you go. I put on alpha lock, then fill with the color and remove the alpha lock. I had a brain spasm right there. And so, and I use a little bit also of the blender to blend the edges a little, to remove some. This is something that I do a lot. Or I blend or I delete. It's just so it's not perfect, because when you're doing something that is realistic, like never it's perfect, right? Paper tears or it's covered by the paint. So putting more stamps, now some scripts and music sheets, and kind of the same thing. I delete, I blend, I'm just like removing with the eraser some parts of it just to not look very straight. And showing there that that's going to be my focal point, where I had that circle there. And I'm going to put an eye stamp of a plant that I have there. And I'm going to make it bigger. I want to do kind of a doodle style, like combining, almost like this plant is a collage, and I'm going to doodle on top, because I love to do this with my real artwork. If you follow my Instagram, you see that I paint a lot like this. I paint and then I go with a pen, a Japanese pen, and I do these doodles on top. And what I did here, I did an alpha lock, and with one of the brushes from the water, magic water, I put some color on top of the plant and changed the plant mode with a clipping mask. And just to give a little bit of a touch. And now I'm doodling with the gel pen, or, you know, I have every kit that I do a pen, so you can use any of them. I love to imitate this kind of doodling that I do. Okay, so now I'm using the text because I'm going to put a quote. So I'm going to use with the typewriter text font. I spent a great amount of time playing with just text, but when I finally got to what I wanted, I right tap and I rasterize that text layer, because then the text layer becomes pixel, is not text anymore. I put a clipping mask, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna use several kind of colors to see what work. What I wanted to do here is I didn't want it to look like a text that was typed on top. I wanted to look more stamped and imperfect. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. So I some letters are not perfect because I wanted to look at that stamp that is not completely correct there in your text. So that's what I did here, playing around with this text. So this pretty much is the job done here. Just going to do a trick that I do with my digital layouts here is, oh no, before this I have some stamping with some extra colors from the Magic Water. And after that, I'm going to finish just giving some kind of dark edges to kind of make the center pop. So this trick that I do, I put a layer on the very top of everything. I fill out with gray, and I used blend mode overlay and putting overlay there, and then you get a soft brush, and in black I'm just stamp on the edges there, and you can see it gets darker. If you use white, which is I'm going to do now, then everything you touch is going to be popping more. So that's what I did with the flower there. So you can do the same thing in Photoshop. Actually, Photoshop has an option when you fill a layer with gray to put at 50%. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll be doing more layouts with Procreate soon. See you then.